first, we do want to focus on the big day of racing at Awapuni. The man to take us through the card is Bevan Sweeney on track. How's it looking at this stage, Bevan?
Very good afternoon to you, Aidan. Yeah, overhead skies, well, there's some cloud, and as it has been the process over the last few weeks, some of it looks threatening, and then there's patches of blue sky, so I don't think we're going to get anything major. It looks as though it'll actually clear up and we'll get a reasonable sort of day. They had a bit of rain overnight. We'll catch up with an interview with Kim Treweek before the first. So they got rain Tuesday, Wednesday, and like 10, 12 mils across those 2 days, and then just a little bit of an unexpected drop last night. I've seen this track come up a dead 6, but it's pretty warm. So I think with that later start, we'll just see that tick of improvement, Aidan.
Yeah, exactly. First of the card at 7 minutes to 1. Let's have a look at the market for it. And this one is the Tui backing winners since 1889 Premier. Joint favourites Comeback and Bocce, both at 380. What a smasher at 550 and 190. Stephen, where's the money lead on the first?
Even spread. If there was a slight lead, I'd give it to the 8. What a smasher in that third line of betting, Aidan. Off a peak of $6, you can see they're trading at 5.5. They ridden it back last start and it really charged and hit the line and rattled off some nice sectionals late in the piece. So wouldn't be surprised if they do the same here. Just going back to the top of the box, Comeback, Bocky, $3.80 each of 2. Basically, they're matching dollar for dollar without a clear lead there. A little bit of specking around Hundy a month at $9.50, you know where this horse will be in running. But overall, in a pretty competitive rating, 72 for the sprinters. What a smasher, 6 into 5 best backed.
Yeah, it'd be interesting just to see what they do tactically today after riding back and really closing off in the quickest last 600 of the race last time out. Our map says go forward. What are you thinking, Bevan?
I just think everything goes forward, as that map probably says, Aidan. So it's going to be a race with a lot of speed, and I don't think What a Smasher will go forward. Actually, I think it sits back, and it's probably a speed map that has been reflective of what it has done prior to this last start performance. This at Otiki on the 30th of November, behind a very sharp sort of horse in Blonde Line, has put, what is it, 3 together now, and shown a sparkling turn of foot. Now, they rode back this day, as you mentioned, in the hands of Madan Singh, who is actually riding really well at the moment, Aidan, Madan. And the horse comes across heels there, so held up for a period of time, and the last bit of its work was very, very good. But you've got Fibonacci, you've got Bocca, you've got Comeback. Gee, you've got a lot of speed in this particular race, so it may just set up for this horse to get over the top of them late, and this track has been racing very, very kindly at the present moment. I was with the 8, What a Smasher, on top over the 1. Comeback, quality horse, a little bit hit and miss, but when it wins, it's been in good company, so it's a horse with a good amount of ability. It's got a 60-kilo impost, so that's a slight against. I thought Bocce, look, don't drop this horse just yet. I think on speed on a track like this with the roll back in the true position, it might just be one of the better horses in the race. And then I went with the 7 McPhoebe, coming back out of an open handicap at Otaki behind Gifted Power, back into a 72.12. Thought it might be an each way price as well, Aidan.
Yeah, exactly. It's an interesting first. I was with What a Smasher as well, but just something that punters might not be aware of is that Fibonacci went to the jump outs and won a heat at Levin last week and beat home Lubaya, who was terrific last week as well, was a luckless third. So Fibonacci first up might be just worth a second look. Let's move you on to the second, the Goodwood Stud Premier for the 2-year-olds. This is a race that's really got me. Laurentium is our favourite, 210 and 112 ahead of Chiji Spirit at 350, 125. The Fugitive also very good at the trials at 550 and 160. They're all debutants here, Stephen, so we're really relying on that trials form. We've seen some good trials. What's the market lead?
Clearly the one here in Laurentium at $2.10, Aidan. Like you mentioned, first starters here, all the 9, so we're very quick to make a move, and in particular number 1, Laurentium, 210 from a peak of $2.90. It holds 6 times more money than the second best back runner in QG Spirit. So look, the stable on fire, they've already produced 2 or 3 juvenile winners this season thus far, so Laurentium is your best back runner for the juveniles at Awapuni Race 2.
Geez, I was taken by a couple of these trials, Bevan. Chiji Spirit and the Fugitive both got me. I was more leaning towards Nigel Tiley's horse, so Chiji Spirit I thought would be very hard to bowl here.
Well, I think the process, well, across the first part of this season is when Te Akio line up a 2-year-old, you just get on because they win. And I think it'll be the same sort of case here this afternoon. The colt by Sacred Falls was a $170,000 purchase and seems to have the ability to go with that purchase price. It travelled up this day. I think it lost a little bit of concentration when it got there and it was cruising that well, but once it found a bit of a competitor, I really love to see what it did at the line because it came away. Opie was just asking gently down the side of the neck there, and then it got that competition on the inside and it had a lot to offer. So I think there's a bit to learn in its mind, but they travel here and we've seen it on so many occasions. They just line up and win these Te Akau young horses. One to beat the two, you're right. The second horse's trial very, very good. The Fugitive also good enough at the trials for Johnny Barry. That was back 18th of September. And the 3 Regal Award has won 2 trials. So it's an interesting race, but you only have to go with the flow of money in these types of races. And Aidan, as you know, it's at the top of the book.
Yeah, it's a really good race. Can't wait for that. The 2-year-olds and, of course, Karaka Million. 6 of the 9 are eligible as well. Let's move you on to the third, and here's the market for you for this. And this is Hislop. Plumbing, Expression 140, 102, More Wonder at 270 and 106. Stephen, with you.
$1.40 place 270. That frames it to be around about a 98% chance that the winner will come out of 1 and 2, which I think a lot of people hearing this will be not surprised. More Wonder, Expression, just down to dollars invested. They match each other at this stage, and we've had this market open for 48 hours. I think the market is very solid. I don't think their price is going to change that much throughout the afternoon. And Multi's Expression, around about 960 v More Wonder 82. So I think overall not too much to say in this particular market, that it's dominated by the top 2 in the market.
Yep, both of them been in Group 1 company as well. Let's have a look at the speed map for you. It will be tactical. Somewhere Man, the expected leader here. How did you split the pair of them, Bevan?
Well, I was talking to Guy Larry a period of time ago, Aidan, and he suggested to me that he might freshen up Expression for the Telegraph. Post that discussion, he decided, well, there's only one more opportunity at the mile for a 3-year-old filly like this, so he is heading to the Old Bayer Classic, now the Live-In Stakes at Trentham. So she may just have the best turn of foot over the 1,200 metres, but the winner will come out of the 1 and the 2, won't it? Because they're both quality animals. I know Guy was a little bit disappointed in her this day, and he questions whether she really truly runs out the 1,600 metres. She didn't show that turn of foot that we have seen over those shorter trips, but gee, she's an athlete. So I think with that freshen up under her belt, she'll probably sprint very, very well here this afternoon, and maybe just a click better than More Wonder, who has got oodles of ability. And I think the 5th of More Wonder in its race at Riccarton probably franks up better or on an equal par as Expression's performance there in that guinea. So look, if you're going to shop prices, you're looking to the 1. Expression a little bit too short for me against another quality 3-year-old. So good Expression on top, just because I think it'll sprint a little bit better than More Wonder here. More Wonder in for second. Either of those two will win. High Power's a horse you can follow for later on. That combination, Linz and Matt Cameron, very hard to beat. And Got the Cool's not a bad filly by Burgundy for Gary Vile. But as Hunty mentioned, the winner will come out of the 1 and the 2.
You'd think so. Let's move you on to the 4th, and this one is the Paper Masters Premier over the 1,200 metres, in fact 1,400 metres, in favouritism with Saigon. Graham Rogerson giving this one a little bit of a push earlier too, Stephen.
You're well supported at $4. Again, even spread over a number of runners here. Scar Lowy's been well supported. Punters willing to forgive, second up after a very impressive debut win around Scar Lowy. Jonathan Parks does the riding, excuse me, around 680 into $6. Tipperary Mary well supported in that third line of betting at $7.50. Brugal back in grade, up in weight at $8, well supported. A little bit of speaking for last chance, the local at 9.5. So without a clear lead, they're punting 4 or 5 runners here in the rating 62 company.
Okay, let's have a look at the speed map for you for this one as well. And Bevan, looks pretty even, but I always love a 5-win horse in a rating 65 race.
Indeed, Aidan. I always try and find one right completely outside the square for the meeting, and it will be in this particular race, and it will be number 4 at $41. What's up? I've got a lot of time for this horse. Now, maybe it is going to be an autumn horse when there's just that little bit more cut out of the track. I'm taking you back to a performance when winning at Wanganui, and I didn't mind this race as a form. A race going forward. Now, the track was a lot wetter than it is here this afternoon. He's a big, strong horse. Lisa was aboard fresh up this time in behind Cinerama. Now, he was just awkward that day and he was all over the shop, but he will go through the grades, this horse. It's just when and where. So at $41, I thought he was really good value for you, especially that place price. So I'm going to put him on top. Medan Singh will claim 2 kilos off his back today if they put good speed into this particular race. So I expect him to be getting home today with just that little bit of extra rain overnight. That just encouraged me to have him on top, because I do really rate this horse. Okay, his last start performance really wouldn't have filled you with a lot of confidence, but you wait for him. He's maybe an autumn horse, maybe it's a couple of runs this preparation out and then back for the autumn. So he's on top. Scarlo is a nice horse, Brugel with the 5 wins. Yes, you're right there. And Saignon was beaten by a pretty sharp sort of horse at his most recent start and cuddled up till late in that race.
Geez, you floored me, Bevan. Well, best of luck, and to those who follow you in on the 40s as well. Wow, on top for Bevan Sweeney. Let's move you on to race 5, and this is the Property Brokers Premier. Johnny Lincoln, 330 and 140. The concern here is that it's 27 for 1. But the last couple of starts, Stephen, have both been very good. Is there money to suggest he's going to be hard to beat again?
There is, Aidan. He looks set to start favourite in an open race over the 2-1 journey. $3.30, just drifted ever so slightly from the 3.2 quote when betting commenced yesterday afternoon. In front of Off With The Head at $4.40, well supported. Prince Turbo, well supported as well. And that third line of betting, $5.50 into 5. Red Rascal, currently a losing result, 12 into 11. And He's a Freak. Now, he showed immense ability as a 3-year-old. He's been disappointing this time in. $13 currently a losing result. The stablemate of the current favourite in Johnny Lincoln. Maybe punters hoping over ground we might see the real He's a Freak, but at the moment he's the one they're specking in a middle line quote. Okay, let's have a look at the speed map for you for this one, race 5, and Cetus maybe goes forward from out wide, but 27 for 1, that was about when you used to go into bat, wasn't it, Bevan, at first drop?
Yeah. About right, and it was 28 for 2. He's a freak. Look, I backed him last time when we followed him at Awapuni. He was one of my 2 bets in my strategy. I didn't have all favours, but I wasn't really impressed with him late, but he's got all the ability to win this sort of race. My best bet's going to go around in this particular race, and it is Off With Her Head. Now, this has been in my black book for a period of time. This is a race taken out by Real Beach here last week. Just watch the last bit of work from this horse. It's flying. If Matt Cameron, and no disrespect to Zinja Day, because she's coming through the apprentice ranks, if Matt Cameron, Parks, All Press was aboard this horse, it'll be a big go for me today, because they would just get moving that little bit quicker. Watch this horse get home. It's done this the first 3 starts of this campaign. If Zinja Day gets moving on this horse, it'll win. $4.40 I think is a really good price. It'll be my best bet on the program, and it will be the only horse in my betting strategy for your Christmas cracker as we head into Christmas. So the 9's on top. Johnny Lincoln, you mentioned 27 and 1, but he's gone nicely the last couple of starts. Red Rascal, well, you're a fan as well. I'm a fan. Just got to get the job done though, Aidan. And Prince Turbo, good tough sort of horse for Mike Breslin at home. Jonathan Parks aboard. So 9, 3, 7 and 4 in race 5.
Okay, you got me. I'm following in on this one. Really nice video to show us too there, Bevan. Let's move you on to the first of the featured. This is the Hotel Couchman Manawatu Cup at Group 3. Glory Days, $2.50 and $1.25, $6 for Hinerangi. Is it all still Glory Days? Is that the market here, Stephen, or are they starting to spec it at odds?
Oh, look, 90% of the lead and the chat is around the 2 Glory Days, Aidan. $2.80, like I mentioned at the top of the show, clearly the best back runner in the feature, the Manawatu Cup today. And that includes a $5,000 bet at the opening line of $2.80. She now represents a $2.50 price. And around about 1,300 multis running through Glory Days, and next best is Hinerangi at 150. So just crunching those numbers, she is very dominant in what is a sizable field, 14 going around. There is a couple horses I should quickly mention. Jack Star, well supported on the comeback trial from injury at $18 off a peak of 21, and a little bit of specking for Rock On, the stablemate at 31s. But really, it's all about one horse, according to punters, and that's Glory Days.
Okay, Speedmap will see a little bit of pace from out wide, and that makes it potentially a 3-wide line early on. 250 favourite when there's a couple of Baker Forsman runners. What do you think about that, Bevan?
Well, as soon as Kevin Myers late nominated Over the River into the race, it became Glory Days' race to lose, really, because she's gone from carrying 60 to carrying similar weights to how she won the Wanganui Cup. So, look, it's hard to see her being beaten. Here is her performance at Wanganui, and out of this race, they meet at similar weights. How do they turn the tables? Well, you watch this race, you say they can't. simply they can't, because she's got the best turn of foot in the race. There's enough tempo in front of her to get home like this again. Porcelain Princess will probably improve out of this run. Hunter Pence got the first bit of luck in this campaign and win a really nice race as well. Rock On, well, geez, just a tough ride. Jack Star interests me in the race, and I almost had him in there, and I almost had him in for second, but I'm just thinking one more, Aidan, with Jack Star. Look out for him Wellington Cup time. I think he's not going to be far away in a race like that. So with 55 kilos on her back, I know it's hard to win 5 in a row, but everything sort of fits the profile that she will be winning here this afternoon. Hunter Pence going well. Samson's an interesting horse for me. I don't think he's going badly, Aidan, and the blinkers do go on him today. If he gets a little bit of luck, I think he's well capable possibly to challenge Glory Days. And then I went right down the bottom of the book because Hinny Ringy was pretty immense last start here at Awapuni with not much luck in the run, to be honest with you. So if she got a soft trip as well in behind them, she might be the big upsetter in the race. So I marked them 2, 7, 3 and 12, and I've got a bit of time for Jack Star, but maybe just that one more extra effort.
Yeah, I spoke to Gary Vole during the week and he was suggesting that as well, but really happy with the way he's come back from that really serious injury, and he is a Group 1 performer. Let's move you on to the feature today, and that is the Group 2 Kamara Park 102 Challenge Stakes, where Ocean Emperor heads the market at 260, 125, win spell at 480 and 170. Where's the money going, Stephen Hunt?
Ocean Emperor well backed, Aidan, but they are willing to spec 4 or 5 in this particular race. Just starting off with the favourite Ocean Emperor, well supported at $2.60. That is his opening line. And he holds around about 2 times more money in the second best back runner in Dalsetto, who opened at double figure line. Dalsetto at $10.50. He's now moved in 2 full points to $8.50, and everybody saw his run at Trentham last start. He was very unlucky and loves Awapuni. I think he's won 4 from 5 here at Awapuni, so no surprise has been a speaking there. Windspiel, look, Punters opposing this runner, 450 out to 480, maybe the dead 6 might come into that particular reasoning, but best back runner Ocean Emperor in the Group 2 feature in front of Dalsetto, who's been a well-shopped middle market runner.
Yeah, Ocean Emperor really good in the Captain Cook last time. They only nosed out in the final stride of a Group 1 placing. Let's have a look at the speed map here. And Dolcetto, just a tricky barrier draw. That's the concern there. Ocean Emperor looks to map and will be tough to bowl from there, you'd think, Bevan.
Yes, but look, I love Dolcetto today. I thought 10.50 great. I think 8.50 is probably an over still, although it's close 2 points, but that's my market against Stevens, and like, I've got some pretty sharp sort of minds there. I just think this is his race here this afternoon with the extra bit of rain around through the week. I know the gate's a little bit awkward, but Sam is riding very nicely. Look, the run at Trentham, well, it had to be sort of for my mark, franked as good as Ocean Emperor's. So I'm going to put him up at 10.50 into 8.50 is the one they have to beat. Bazoo, he's travelled back up north, and what a preparation this horse has put in. I'm going to put that in for second. I think this horse is going really, really well at the present moment. The 2 Windspiel, gee, I almost left Windspiel out with just that little bit of extra cut in the track, Aidan, but it'll be in the mix for mine. And Ocean Emperor gets everything in its favour from that one gate. That is its go. It gets trailing position, generally gets the split, and does have a very good turn of foot, the beautiful looking horse by Zabil. So I'm 3, 7, 2 and 1 in race number 7.
Okay, let's move on to the last and a tricky betting affair. It's a good race to finish up with at Awapuni today. And we've got Portland Jimmy at 350 and 140. Really progressive racehorse. Look at the money that's come for Jessie G into 480, 180. What price did this open at, Stephen?
650 GCG, I think when betting commenced on Thursday, Aidan. So look, they're working around that Lincoln Raider form line, who happens to be favourite for the Dunstan on Boxing Day at HQ. And another runner they're willing to spec in this particular market is Tom's, who also finished just in behind the place getters around Lincoln Raider. So that's the race they're targeting in terms of investing. Jessie G and Tom's. Tom's $10 off a peak of 12, and Jessie G, like I mentioned a moment ago, $6.50 into $4.80. Saying that, Portland Jimmy has been well supported at a $3.50 quote in that top line of betting. So they're the 3 they're really targeting come the last at Awapuni today.
Yeah, really good race to finish. Looks to be a true speed in this race, with the horses getting forward to Portland Jimmy, Choice Attitude, Miss Doherty, according to the map as well. Geez, I'm interested to get your thoughts on this one, Bevan, because on paper it looks a terrific betting affair.
It does, Aidan. I was on, I was off. I'm back on. Portland Jimmy. Look, he'll go close. So I'm not prepared to slay him today, because he was my lay this day, because the indications from the stable were that he wasn't going to handle the slow 8. Well, obviously he worked himself into the deck at Waverley after missing a couple of runs and just being too ready to go, really, and he showed his real quality here this afternoon. What is a reasonable sort of form race, isn't it, with Saigon there? Tipperary Mary is a reasonable sort of horse. Odsal out wide and others. He was tough this day. With improving track conditions throughout the afternoon, he's probably going to get a track that'll suit him right down to the ground, and he'll be tough to roll even from an awkward sort of gate. GCG, the move in the market, well, you see W.J. Gleeson in the ownership, and you can understand why this horse moves with the boys at the bookies desk, because Bill's not scared to have a look at them. So that horse has clearly come in quite sharply. Father Lenihan going nicely, and the whole Lisa Ladder team, Aidan, really going well at the present moment. And then I went down to the 9 Toms. Yeah, very unlucky last start as well in a nice little form race. So I marked them 6, 7, 4 and 9. As far as the $100 strategy goes, it's a pretty simple one this afternoon. My best bet is off with her head at 480. Value bet is Dolcetto at 850. My blowout is What's Up at $41, and my strategy is as simple as put $100 to win on off with her head at $4.40 and go and get the big ham instead of the small ham after race number 5, Aidan, as we lead into Christmas.
Yeah, I like it. I really like it. And you've shown us the right video to convince our punters at home. Good luck to those who are following you, and we can soon get to you for the first at Awapuni at 7 minutes to 1 this afternoon.